Delays in Central Province counting. Two independents pledge alliances. And PPP loses in Kavieng but wins in Kokopo.
This is National EMTV News with Mary Bartolo.
A very good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for Thursday's news. More seats were declared today, bringing the total declared seats to 26. They include, for the National Alliance Party, Ian Staki, who has defeated People's Progress Party leader Ben Maika for the Kavieng open seat, and Joe Sungi, who has retained the Nuku open seat in West Sepik Province. Two PNC candidates were declared today. Two PNC candidates were declared today. They are PNC's Solan Mirisim for Telefomin in West Sepik Province, who has retained his seat, and John Pundari, also retaining his seat in Kompiam Ambum in Enga Province. And the fifth person declared today is Emil Tamur for Kokopo Open in a close fight to the end. He defeated sitting member and PNC candidate Eraman Tobaining Jr. Emil Tamur is a member of the People's Progress Party. And this is how the political parties' tally stands as of 6 p.m. this evening. People's National Congress now has 10 members. They are James Marape for Taripori, Justin Chechenko for Mosby South, Peter O'Neill for Yalibupangia, Charlie Benjamin for Manus Regional, Job Pomat, Manus Open, Stephen Davis, Esa Ala, Elias Kapavore for Pomio Open, Charles Abel for Alatau Open, Solan Mirsim for Telefomin Open, and John Pundari for Kompiam Ambun. Mr. Mirsim and Pundari were declared today. Pangu Party has 5 members. They are Koni Iguan for Makam, Sem Basil for Bulolo, Thomas Pelika for Menyamia, Dr. Kobi Bomareo for Tewai Siasi, and Rainbow Paita for Finchafen. Pangu's members have been declared all from the Morobe province. The National Alliance Party has 4 members declared. They are Walter Schnobelt for Namatanai Open, Timothy Masiu for South Bougainville, Ian Staki for Kavieng Open, and Joe Sungi for Nuku Open. Both Mr. Staki and Mr. Sungi were declared this afternoon. The People's Progress Party has 1 member declared. He is Mr. Emil Tamur for Kokopo Open. The Melanesian Liberal Party has 1 member, so as the Christian Democratic Party, United Resource Party, and Coalition for Reform Party. The 4 minor parties are indicated by the white bar at the end of your screen. And so far, 2 independents have been declared. They are Petrus Thomas for Koroba Lake Kopiago and Manasseh Makiba for Komo Magarima. Both independents have announced that they will align themselves with People's National Congress. The elimination counts for the Central Regional seat did not progress as expected today. Yesterday, Central Regional ballot boxes from Rigo and Abau districts arrived at the venue at Murray Barracks in Port Moresby. This morning, however, scrutiny has refused to enter the venue because of alleged irregularities.
Well, we are giving them till after lunch now. If they don't come and respond on our, we told them to, we will proceed with the count. If they still insist, we will continue with the count. I'm appealing to the people of Central and people and scrutineous candidates as a whole. You know, they were very cooperative during the polling, and they should do that during this counting process. We only have till Monday 24 to return of the return. We don't have time to waste time in these unnecessary delays. We have to proceed with the elimination.
Counting at the Bomana Correctional Service College did not happen for the whole day. It came after counting officials went on an indefinite strike, demanding the outstanding entitlements to be paid. The Electoral Commission said it has 78 million kina to work with. Moving on, the 2 elected independent members for Hela Province have announced their alliance with the People's National Congress Party. They say their move comes following proper consultation with people in their districts. Koroba Lake Kopiago member-elect Petrus Thomas and member for Komo Magarima Manasseh Makiba made this announcement today in Port Moresby.
The number game is slowly taking shape as ruling parties push to form the 10th government. This morning, the two new elected leaders of Hela made a stand announcing the alliance with the PNG-led government. They say their move is basically to serve the interest of Hela people and issues at hand.
They have agreed and also given me the green light to team up with the PNC party as an independent group. And I will be moving over to PNC came as an independent to form the next government.
The member-elect for Komo Magarima Manasseh Makiba made it clear that both will remain as independent candidates and will submit a position paper to the PNC party leader. Both leaders say an influential factor is PNC policies.
Is that we believe in stability in government. We know that PNC-led government has provided stability in government for the last 5 years. And we believe PNC-led government would provide the same stable government in the next term.
PNC stronghold and re-elected Taripori MP James Marape welcomed the announcement and says the decision is to maintain stability in leadership and governance.
They're not part of PNC, they're still independent, and they will establish independent position paper to the coalition parties who will form government together with PNC. So we look forward to getting their papers and some of the petitions that they've announced today.
Makiba and Thomas will be joining the PNC camp in Alatau. Jack Lapave Jr. National EMTV News.
As exclusions begin in the Nawai Open Counting Centre, Pangu's Kennedy Wenge has been fast closing in on the leader on the progressive count, PPP's Samson Timson. Since the start of counting, Wenge's vote count has been consistent. It started with unexpected numbers from coastal areas of the Nawai Open electorate.
After the primary vote count, the margin between PPP's Samson Timson and Pangu's Kennedy Wenge remained narrow, with over 500 votes separating Timson from Wenge. Wenge's run was surprisingly consistent. He collected numbers from coastal areas in the initial boxes, then maintained his position on the first and second placing throughout. By the end of the primaries, there was still no clear leader. By 3 p.m. today, 6 candidates were excluded. Kennedy Wenge was still running second on 4,066. Samson Timson, 4,606. By tomorrow morning, the outline of a possible winner will begin to emerge. What has become clear is that people have voted along party lines for their second and third preferences. And this is what many parties have encouraged people to do. Vote your wantok in the first preference, then vote for the party you want in the second preference. Scott Waide, National EMTV News, Ley.
Here with National EMTV News, we will have all the progressive counting after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to National EMTV News. The elimination counts for the Central Regional seat did not progress as expected today. Yesterday, Central Regional ballot boxes from Rigo and Abau districts arrived at the venue at Mari Barracks in Port Moresby. This morning, however, scrutineers refused to enter the venue because of alleged irregularities.
When EMTV arrived at the Ben Moide Soldiers Club at Mari Barracks at midday, counters were present, but there was no scrutineer in sight, and the elimination count hadn't even begun. Central Provincial Election Manager Kila Egaba said they were trying to get the scrutineers to return to the venue so that quality checks for the Abau boxes for the regional candidates could continue.
As of yesterday, we got all the boxes for Abau and Rigo Open electorates for the quality check. And as of last night, we completed the counting for the Rigo Open, and we were supposed to continue with Abau Open this morning, but we have problem with the scrutineers. They were demanding, have some demand before we proceed with this. So most of them they walked out from the counting center. So
Mr. Egaba said scrutineers had issues with public servants from the provincial administration involved as counters. There were also irregularities with the ballot boxes that were brought in from Rigo. These were the scrutineer's concerns.
I'm appealing to the people of Central and people and scrutineers candidates as a whole. They were very cooperative during the polling and they should do that during this counting process. We only have till Monday 24 to return of the return. We don't have time to waste time in these unnecessary delays. We have to proceed with the elimination.
The primary counts for the Central Regional seat were and are being done at the respective electorates of Rigo, Abao, Goilala and Kairukuhiri. Only the boxes from Goilala and Kairukuhiri will be brought to the elimination counting venue once all the primary counts have finished. Deli Waigeno, National, EMTV News.
Counting at the Bomana Correctional Service College did not happen for the whole day. It came after counting officials went on an indefinite strike demanding the outstanding entitlements be paid. The Electoral Commission said it has 78 million kina to work with.
2 more boxes left before elimination in the Kairukuhiri counting. But counting didn't happen today. Officials are on strike over outstanding allowances. The Kairukuhiri returning officer Tabu Vaira says he contacted the Electoral Commission, but there hasn't been any response.
Officials outstanding, yet to be paid, and their team polling teams, drivers have also got that issue. They have not been paid yet. So as such, they've agreed that we have to stop counting until those issues are sorted out.
The wait is now for the Electoral Commission to address the issue at hand. In earlier interviews, the Commissioner Patilias Gemato said there is 78 million kina for the elections, but across the country, polling officials have been complaining about their allowances not being paid.
Fortunately, we are not broke. There is enough money to pay allowances and even helicopter charters here.
And it's not just the polling officials. Security personnel have not been paid their allowances, but they continue to work under difficult conditions. In Port Moresby, 2 places stopped counting today, Bomana and the Gordons Police Barracks. Goilala counting suspended indefinitely after 2 senior officials were arrested for drinking in public. Angry supporters and scrutineers demanding the Electoral Commission to take action. Some candidates using the issues to say the elections have failed and a by-election must be called. Police personnel have been keeping the situation under control as disgruntled supporters threaten to keep the counting venue closed for an indefinite period of time. Bethany Harriman, National EMTV News.
Pangu Party's Ginson Sanu has maintained his position in the Morobe regional seat after count 162. He now leads by over 15,000 votes. Former Governor Luther Wenge and former Provincial Administrator run in 2nd and 3rd, followed by the incumbent Kelly Naru on 4th place. In the lay open, quality checks have concluded and they have now commenced with the exclusion process.
Former teacher and Pangu candidate Ginson Saonu has dominated the Morobe regional seat. He now leads with more than 15,000 votes ahead of United Party candidate and former Governor Luther Wenge. He has maintained his lead since count 99. Saonu gathered a number of votes from areas that have already declared Pangu candidates as members-elect. After count 165 this afternoon, Saonu was leading with 43,656 votes. The incumbent Kelly Naru still runs in 4th place. Ballot boxes from the Nawaib, Kabum and Makam districts are yet to be counted. Election manager Simon Soheke said the counting process has been going well with minor disruptions.
We have progressed really well. We have so far counted 171 boxes out of the 276 that we have.
With a large number of boxes for the Morobe regional, counting may not be completed by the 24th of July.
We are asking for an extension. Why? Because there are lots of boxes which we are counting and time is against us.
Quality checks for the lay open seat ended at noon today and exclusion has commenced.
We're trying our best that we can at least do 10 today, and then maybe tomorrow we'll continue and we'll see how far we can go. Hopefully we should declare by weekend.
Lucy Kopana, National EMTV News, Leh.
And now we take a look at progressive results from around the country, and we begin in the Central Province. To counting for Rigo Open after the 14th exclusion, Anopala is in the lead 4,914, followed by Lekwa Gure 3,748. Turai Elemi is running third, 3,706. To counting for Kairukuhiri Open after count 39, Peter Isoaimo 12,904, Paro Aihi 10,049, Stephen Manai 6,929. To counting for Goilala Open after count 35, William Sam 5,097, Alex Robert 2,284, Bruce Mamando 2,206. To counting in Northern Province and for the Northern Regional seat after count 43, Gary Jufa 30,552, Jean Pakop 6,286, Mark Bayai 4,000. To counting in Medang Province and for the Medang Regional seat after count 46, James Yali is in the lead 19,707, Pitayama 18,344, Jerry Singirok 18,141. To Morobe Province now, and Pangu Party has now secured 5 out of the 9 seats in Morobe, and they expect to also win the regional. The progressive count for Morobe Regional after count 154, Ginson Saunu 41,582, Luther Wenge 27,039, Kemas Tomala 18,687. To counting in West Sepik Province and for West Sepik Regional after count 23, Tony Wowo 11,119, Greg Kapanombo 6,148, Simon Solo 3,464. To counting in Western Highlands Province and for the Western Highlands Regional seat after count 45, Pius Wingti 44,445, Wairapa 33,197, John Nongor 26,687. Hagen Open after count 68, William Duma 28,926, James Pook 7,415, Luke Matthew 4,501. Mulbaya Lumusa after count 101, Koi Trape 21,458, Sunny Rambi 12,207, David Morris 10,131. To counting for Day Open after count 64, Tui Ekil 5,886, Wesley Nukundi 4,999, Stephen Pim 4,553. To counting for Tambul Nebilia Open after count 83, Paul Mawa 15,613, Benjamin Popanawa 15,265, Windaki 12,659. To counting in Southern Highlands Province and for the Southern Highlands Regional seat after count 183, William Powi 33,448, Jeffrey Cobol 22,619, and Jerry Kiwai 21,420. To counting for Imbongo Open after count 87, Francis Awesa 11,197, Pilani Ningi 9,501, Stephen Temo 6,072. To Mendi Open after count 1-1. To counting in Kagua Erave after count 79, James Laguerre 6,181, Maino Pano 6,111, Mr. Raitano 5,382. To counting for Mendi Open after count 113, Michael Nali, 14,546, Dekiwanu, 12,978, Isaac Joseph, 11,929. To Nipa Kutubu, Philemon Embel, 9,691, Jeffrey Komal, 8,572, Billy Joseph, 6,041. To counting in Simbu Province and for Simbu Regional after count 54, Michael Dua, 24,974, Noah Cool, 23,421, John Gould, 15,251. To counting for Karawagi Open, Francis Kikin, 5,711, Peter Kuman, 4,249, Barry Palma, 3,858. To Truave Open, after exclusion 28, Wera Mori, 5,111, Brian Y, 3,484, David Mori, 3,067. Karamui Salt Nomane, after the 15th exclusion, Jeffrey Kama, 4,664, Michael Corey, 3,497, John Courier, 2,463. To counting for Sinusine Yongomul after the 24th exclusion, Karenga Kua, 13,795, Mili Kiage, 4,578, Kal Aina, 4,507. To counting for Gumini Open, Nick Kuman, 9,452, Dawa Lucas, 5,408, Michael Kale, 2,654. To Enga Province and the progressive results for Wabeg Open after count 71, Robert Ganim, 10,379, Dr. Lino Tom, 8,504, Pato Potane, 6,909. To the New Guinea Islands region and to East New Britain Province and for the East New Britain regional seat after the 12th exclusion, Celio Dion, 16,828, Naki Kuskonga, 15,507, Sinai Brown, 14,470. To West New Britain Province and for the West New Britain regional seat after count 39, Zasinran Mutuvel, 35,202, Chris Lagisa, 18,923, William Gary, 8,310. To Talasea Open and after the quality checks, Francis Marus, 10,618, Francis Manake, 10,534, Fred Kumai, 6,464. To New Island Province and for the New Island regional seat after count 25, Sir Julius Chen, 22,394, Michael Singan, 20,443, Moses Makis, 2,769. To the autonomous region of Bougainville and the elimination process for Central Bougainville Open at the 12th elimination, Sem Akoitai, 5,590, Father Simon Dumarino, 4,622, and Jimmy Merringtoro, 3,314. Now, in the meantime, elimination for North Bougainville was halted since yesterday. Acting Election Manager Desmond Timiaso says he expects some favourable response from the Electoral Commission office in Port Moresby. He will address and resolve the situation in North Bougainville so that counting can resume. And now we take a look at the finance news. The kino closed unchanged at 0.3145 US dollars in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kino was buying 0.307 US dollars, 0.3829 Australian dollars, 0.2633 euro, and 34.03 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, coffee, cocoa, and copper closed higher, gold closed lower. Palm oil closed the day unchanged, crude oil and copper closed lower. And on the stock markets, the Dow Jones closed 21 points higher, the ASX is trading 5 points higher, and the All Ordinaries 27 points higher. You're watching National EMTV News. We'll be back with more after these messages. Stay tuned. Welcome back to National EMTV News. At 3 p.m. this afternoon, Ian Ling-Stuckey signed the writs for Kavieng Open Electorate and was officially declared as a new member for Kavieng. Ling-Stuckey unseated People's Progress Party leader and sitting MP Ben Micah. He will be the third National Alliance candidate to be elected in these elections.
After signing the writs with returning officer UU Lasput, the new member-elect for Kavieng gave his maiden speech as member for Kavieng.
Tribe, thank you, Blami. Igolong all people, long Kavieng district, long confidence, trust, oligat, long Ian Ling, long putting me go back inside, long national parliament for a record third time.
He thanked his supporters for voting him. He also went on to thank the National Alliance Party for allowing him to run under the party and also congratulated the party leader and the Martin Island member-elect Walter Schnobelt on his win.
And we win him, election long him, first time after 20 long years. Good on you, Wally. Good on you. Long USAT leader, long NA, long ground on New Island. Provincial Chairman, long National Alliance, John Maribo. Put your hand up, John. Put your hand up and acknowledge.
Ling-Stuckey is not new to politics, being governor of New Island in 1997 and 2002. He assured the Kavieng District Development Authority that he is ready to develop Kavieng.
Officers from New Island provincial government, whereby we interact with you, and in the Kavieng District Development Authority, waiting me, when we go back to Moresby, give me a chance to kiss him brief. I'll come back. Now you to by setting 5-year plan where you to. And I can assure you, like I did in my first 10 years, time is up member of the parliament, I will work very, very hard for you.
Last but not least, Mr. Ling-Stuckey thanked his family.
Thank you. Long patience play you play. You know stop when you play long is the one play. That's what we know the you play. Thank you. The patience, the talk all right.
Ian Ling-Stuckey held the first place through the primary count right through to the 20th elimination, where he won with 9,368, and People's Progress Party leader and sitting member Ben Micah with 6,713, where the absolute majority plus one was 8,042.
For the first time long history of the Kavieng District, only races long this election. We talk thank you long all, me amamas long all mama. Thank you to mas. Me sorry to he got one win at the soul long this election. Because me look him effort long all now but 21 candidates, you know, they work very, very hard. But there can only be one winner.
Ling-Stuckey becomes the third National Alliance candidate to be declared and the party's second in New Island, with the last People's Progress Party sitting member and founder of the party, Sir Julius Chan, holding on as he goes into elimination rounds, with National Alliance candidate Michael Singan trailing second with a 2,000 vote margin. Adelaide Xerox Kari, National EMTV News, Kavieng.
And after Mr. Ling-Stuckey's election, the National Alliance Party also had another declared member. He is Joe Sungi for Nuku in West Sepik Province. You're watching National EMTV News. Don't go away. After the break, some sporting updates in Trukai Sports.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. We begin with football. This weekend's games in the National Soccer League will feature the washout matches from round 2. Competition leaders Lay City Dwellers with captain Raymond Gunemba will take on PS Huawei at 12 p.m. at Bisini here in Port Moresby. The 3 p.m. match will see Buang FC meet bottom of the table Yamaros, while second placed Madang FC and Besta are on a bye. To the ICC Women's World Cup updates, and in a few hours' time, India will face 7-time defending champions Australia in the second semi-final match of this year's edition. In the group stages 2 weeks ago, Australia reminded India why they are champions, beating India by 8 wickets. Now facing Australia once more to vie for the remaining grand final spot, India captain Mithad Raj believes in order to beat the world number one, her team has to outdo Australia in all aspects. Australia, on the other hand, are confident that they have this in the bag and they are prepared to bring their best to the crease to defend their title against India and England. And you're watching Trukai Sports. We'll be back with more after these messages.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. The Japanese sport of sumo wrestling has accepted its first ever Mongolian stable master in a position traditionally held by Japanese. With the sound of bodies slapping against each other, 11 huge wrestlers wearing loincloths take turns throwing each other out of a ring of sand. The training takes place under the watchful eyes of Kyokuteno Masaru, better known by his fighting name Kyokuteno, Japan's first Mongolian-born Oyakata or sumo master.
In June this year, the 42-year-old assumed the helm of the prestigious Tomozuno Bear, a stable with a 260-year history. Entering the sumo world entails adopting Japanese traditions from food to samurai-style top-knot hairstyles and a rigid hierarchy. The tough training and tradition-bound ways have put off many local youth from the sport, leaving sumo to be dominated by foreign, mainly Mongolian wrestlers who endure a grueling path to assimilation. Today, the one-time champion, who was born near Mjavin Sevagnam, speaks near flawless Japanese, has a Japanese wife, and has given up his Mongolian nationality to become Japanese, a requirement to be a sumo master.
でも言葉が一番じゃないかなと思う。だって怒られたりしてても理解できてないし、褒められても何が良くて褒められてるのか理解できてないし。
After ending practice at 10:30 a.m., the wrestlers mingle with fans, sign autographs, and pose for photos before the first of their 2 daily meals. Lunch prepared by the junior wrestlers is a spread of pig's feet, grilled and deep-fried sardines, steamed rice and chankonabe, a signature hot pot dish associated with sumo wrestlers who are said to consume 8,000 calories a day. In the 90s, when foreign wrestlers enter in the field, judges from the Sumo Association spread the message that no foreign wrestlers were needed. Ahead of the first tournament in which he will take part in as Oyakata, Kyokuteno says he does not think of himself as an outsider anymore.
そんなにね、自分がその外国人だからとかっていうのあんまり思ってない。だってそもそもね、ちょんまげつけて着物着て下駄履いて、ここのルールに全てね、日本のルールでそのルールでやってんだから、そこはあんまりそこまで思ってないね。たまたま国籍が違うだけで。
The Nagoya Grand Sumo Tournament ends on Sunday. Jeremy Mogi, National TV Sports.
The World Surf League event quarter-final heat was briefly suspended after a great white shark was spotted in the water. The shark scare halted the Men's World Surf League event at Jeffreys Bay in South Africa.
A great white shark briefly suspended the World Surf League quarter-final heats yesterday off the South African coast of Jeffreys Bay. The Jeffreys Bay event, the J Bay, has a reputation of attracting sharks.
Yeah, so we triple horn, blew the heat to stop, 5 minutes to go roughly, and obviously as you can see on the big screen, sharks swimming through the lineup. It's cruising, so you know obviously our protocols that we have here, our safety protocols, picked it up quite far down, probably about 600 or 700 metres down the point. The jet ski followed it and could see that it was coming into the lineup, so we had to stop the heat.
In 2015, the final heat between Australian pro surfer Mick Fanning and Julian Wilson had to be stopped when Fanning was attacked, shot but not harmed, while surfing at the same venue.
I was looking and one of the skis moved pretty close and I was looking at him going,
what are we doing? What are you doing? He's like, hold. And then I saw him pick up John. I was like, all right, we're out of here. I was sort of hoping to catch another wave and just go straight in, but you said it was down where you were, so I'm glad I didn't do that.
The shark scare came a day after Mako shark disrupted the event after being spotted leaping out of the water. Both Fanning and Brazil's Felipe Toledo were taken to shore and the competition was cancelled for the remainder of the day. Shane Saroya, National EMTV Sports.
To football, and with 3 wins under their belt, New Zealand is on track for their 7th consecutive appearance at a FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup. But with Papua New Guinea hot on their trail and Fiji and New Caledonia close behind, the defending champions' Day 4 encounter tomorrow is a must-win.
Kicking off at 10 a.m. tomorrow, New Zealand will meet a determined Samoa, who are still vying for their first win of the competition. Although New Zealand have sunk 33 goals in the competition already, the 2015 runners-up have only conceded 4, the second lowest after the Kiwis, and could prove New Zealand's biggest challenge yet. Samoa are now out of the contention for France 2018, but coach Martin Tamasese is looking forward to giving New Zealand a good run for their money. With their France 2018 dreams only 1 New Zealand win away from being shattered, New Caledonia are now focusing on winning 1 game at a time and finishing as high on the table as they can. Coach Kamali Fitialeta is looking forward to a close contest against Tonga. Sitting at the bottom of the table, Tonga are still determined to continue their battle, and coach Christian Koaniti is feeling confident about scoring against New Caledonia after the Francophones' 12-0 defeat to New Zealand on Monday. Papua New Guinea will wrap up the day of action when they take on Fiji at 3 p.m. And although Fiji coach Saroj Kumar looking forward to another wholehearted performance from his team, he believes there is still plenty of room for improvement in the final third. A win for Papua New Guinea would keep them on New Zealand's tail in the race for France 2018. Coach Rachel Waduna is focusing on the match in front of her and preparing her side for a neck-and-neck battle as they defend their second-place standing against Fiji. 2 strong wins for Papua New Guinea have seen the nation make an impressive climb from bottom of the standings on match day 1 to runners-up on match day 4. But a win tomorrow will be crucial for PNG's France 2018 qualification campaign. Saroya, National EMTV Sports.
And that ends Shukai Sports. Up next, the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow.
Sports. True Kai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
A look now at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours in the southern region. Port Moresby, Daru, Kerma, Alotau and Popendetta can expect some evening showers. To the Momasa region, some showers as well in all the major centers in Momasa region. To the New Guinea Islands region, some showers in Buka, Kimbe, Kokopo, Rabaul, Kavieng and Lorengau. And the Highlands region as well can expect some showers with all the major centers of Mount Hagen, Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabek expecting some morning fog.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
To some election news now, and quality checks for the ECPIC regional seat started this morning despite scrutineers failing to turn up at the counting centre. Assistant Election Manager Luisa Mateos told MTV News upon legal advice they proceeded with counting. It is also understood a number of petitions will be filed to boycott counting. However, the Electoral Office is yet to be informed on what the petitions are for.
Quality checks for the regional seat started at around 10 a.m. this morning after it was suspended yesterday when scrutineers failed to turn up at the counting center. Upon legal advice and orders from the election manager, quality checks were made this morning, starting with boxes from the Wasaragawi electorate. Other boxes will follow soon. However, Angoram is yet to deliver.
So far, we have received 5 districts provincial count for Ambunti, Maprik, Wasaragawi, Wiwek, and Yangaru South this morning. We are yet to receive Ngoram provincial counts. They are on its way to the counting center.
The assistant election manager says counting for ECPIC is progressing well. Out of the 6 electorates, Ambunti, Drekekia and Wasaragawi are into the exclusion rounds.
Wasaragawi and Ambunti are into the eliminations now. Maprik, Ngoram and Wiwek are doing the quality checks.
Declarations are expected to be made tomorrow and over the weekend. Stanley Over Jr., National EMTV News, Wiwek.
And to end the news, we take a look again at how the political parties are faring. As of 6 p.m. this evening, a total of 26 candidates have been declared in this year's elections. 10 candidates for PNC Party, People's National Congress, 5 members for Pangu Party. The National Alliance has now picked up 4 members in the next parliament. People's Progress Party has 1 member, 2 independents have been elected, and the 4 minor parties of Melanesian Liberal, Christian Democratic Party, United Resource Party and Coalition for Reform Party have a member each, a total of 4 for the minor parties. And that ends the news, sports and weather for today, Thursday, the 20th of July, 2017. On behalf of the news team, pleasant viewing. Stay tuned for Your Vote 2017 with Neville Choi and Titi Gabi.